Singapore who recently passed away.
حبس مع جماعة من أهل العلم ومن الأعيان 4 سنوات.
He was with us and some other of his followers for 4 years.
وخرج بعد ذلك.
Being released from prison after these 4 years, he began to redo and began to reclaim some of the activities that they used to carry out with regards to their lessons and gatherings, a little bit by little bit.
مرت السنوات إلا هو مقصود في بيت الرحمن وللتصور يعني وللأخذ في العلم وللفقه في الشريعة ويحضر المجالس ويقيم بعض الدروس والجهد الذي عمله يحبس من أجله تلاشى وما his house then became a point where people gathered to come and seek knowledge for religious verdicts, for wanting to connect to him in terms of their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He began to attend and hold different gatherings around the city. When death came upon him, he was at the epitome of honor and complete contentment and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. على الوصول إلى حضرموت ثم عاد إلى حضرموت فاستقبل وسط التشريفات الرسمية وسط المطار وجاء البلد بصغارها وكبارها وعيانها محتفلين به وعاد إلى البلد ينعش أثر المسلك والطريقة المباركة وأول مرة وعاد ثانية مرة بتكريم وتعظيم والذين طاردوه وحاولوا حبسه كلهم في مهانة في الدنيا قبل الآخرة.
And we find that when he was forced out of these lands, he continued to serve Islam and the Sharia and the path that he was on, not just in the land that he had migrated to, but in many different Islamic lands or many different lands around the world. Such that when the government changed and he then came to visit Hadramaut, after he was received with a presidential welcome at the airport, and wherever he went, even the scholars and people from the government as well accompanied him, and he was received with honor. He visited not once but a second time as well, and wherever he went, he revived the religious fervor that once existed in these lands.
ومن أمثلة من اختطف وقتل سيد الوالد عليه رحمة الله تعالى.
An example of those who were abducted and killed was Habib Umar's father.
وإلى الآن آثاره تخدم وتجدد وتنتشر في العالم.
But however we find till today that the effects of his da'wah continue and continue to be served and continue to spread throughout the world.
والذين اختطفوه ما شأنهم.
And those who abducted him, what is their affair now?
عامتهم قد خرجوا من الدنيا بعد أن أهينوا فيها في الدنيا قبل الآخرة ومنهم من قتل ومنهم من مات غريبا بعد تغير الأوضاع عليهم وهو إلى الآن آثاره التي حاربوا من أجله وخطفوه وقتلوه تجددت وقام بها دار المصطفى وإلى الجلسة التي أنتم فيها الآن.
And what are the effects of, or what was the affair of those who opposed Habib Muhammad and the likes of Habib al-Qadir was they faced humiliation in this world before the hereafter. Many of them were humiliated, many of them passed away or were killed or were drowned, and they achieved this humiliation in this world before the hereafter. Habib Umar says, however, what was the effects of their harming Habib Muhammad? Till today we find that the effects of his da'wah remain. Dar al-Mustafa continued, the da'wah spread throughout the world, and the gatherings continued right up to this gathering that we are having right here, right now.
كل ما حاربوه من أجله قوية بعده وانتشر وعم بقاعا كثيرة في العالم.
All that they did and all that they were fighting against became stronger and spread throughout the world.
وهم إلى حدود كبارهم الذين جاءوا بفكرة الاشتراكية والشيوعية أهينوا حتى في بلدانهم وحرقت صورهم ودحقت بالأرجل في نفس موسكو.
And their political leaders and those who were at the forefront of the socialist movement, they were humiliated in their own lands, such that their pictures were burned by their own followers and trampled upon in the midst of Moscow.
وذهبنا في بعض الزيارات لروسيا فكان الاستقبال بالتكريم والاحترام ومشينا إلى المساجد الكثيرة هناك التي كانوا في ذاك الوقت حاربوا علماءنا من أجل هدم هذه المساجد، صارت في بلادهم وصار أولاد هؤلاء مكرمين حتى في مطار موسكو.
And when we visited Moscow a few years ago, we were honored and we were received with veneration by the people there, and we went and prayed in those same masajid we had intended with their movement to close down. We went and we were received with honor in their own airports and in their own masajid, in their own lands.
خطفوا الوالد وقتلوه. دولة من الدول التابعة لهم وهي شيشان لما توفيت الوالدة أمر مفتي شيشان بالصلاة عليها في كل مسجد من مساجد الجمهورية.
And when they abducted my father, Shishan, which is an affiliate of Russia, the Mufti of Shishan ordered that the Janaza Salah be performed in absentia for my father in all the masajid of Shishan.
وعاد نحن في الدنيا أرانا الله الآثار وما هو منتظر في الآخرة هو الأكبر.
In our lifetime, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown us such effects. What is to manifest in the hereafter will yet be greater.
والذي تحدثنا عنه ليس الأمر الخاص بحضرموت ولا بغيرها، هو سنة الله في هذا الوجود.
And all that we have mentioned is not specific to Hadramaut or to specific lands. However, this is the sunnah and the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this universe.
لكن الذين يعتبرون قليل.
However, those who receive admonition are very few.
والذين يتصورون الحقيقة قليل.
And those who have a correct perception of the reality are indeed few. And those who really taste the true nature of reality are very few.
وصدق ربنا وقليل من عبادي الشكور.
And Allah has spoken the truth in Him saying, indeed, few of our servants are truly grateful.
فنحن نحب أن نكون من هذا القليل.
And we desire and want to become of this few.
لأن قدره جليل.
Because they estimate the eyes of Allah.
وشأنه عظيم ونعيمه إلى الأبد.
And their affair is great and their felicity will be infinite in the hereafter.
ولن تجد حكومات الأرض ولا الظروف التي تكون على الأرض في عصرنا سنة غير سنة الله في الذين خلوا من قبلنا.
And you will not find the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deals with governments in our times and things that happen in our lifetime to be any different to what has happened in the past.
في تلك الأيام وكنا صغار كان بعض الناس من أثر التيار والفكر الذي انطرح يقولون لي أنت الآن ما تدخل المدارس الحكومية والنظامية فبعد ذلك ستكبر من أين ستأكل؟ ما يكون لك فرصة لأن توفر رزقك وعيشك لابد لك أن تدخل. فمرت السنوات فكان بعض الذين قالوا هذا الكلام يجري الله رزقهم على أيدينا.
We find that Habib says, when I was still young and this ideology was widespread and I was someone who did not go into the government schools, there were people that came to me and said, you are not entering the government schools, you are not going to study. How will you then earn a living? How are you going to seek a livelihood? Who is going to take care of you? Habib says the years went by and those same people, we find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that their livelihood happened at our hands.
فعلى من تعتمدون.
So upon whom do you place your trust?
رب العرش يقول لحبيبه سبحانه وتعالى في سورة المزمل يقول جل جلاله وتعالى في علاه لهذا المصطفى المختار صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه يقول له واذكر اسم ربك وتبتل إليه تبتيلا رب المشرق والمغرب لا إله إلا هو فاتخذه وكيلا.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to his beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Surah Muzammil that remember or bring to mind the name, do the remembrance of the name of your Lord and devote yourself to him wholeheartedly. He is the Lord of the East and the West, and take him as a disposer of your affairs.
اتخذنا الله وكيلا وحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل.
We have taken Allah as the disposer of our affairs, and he is the best disposer of our affairs, and he is sufficient for us.
وصدقنا في التوكل أن نبذل ما في وسعنا من كل الأسباب للمقاصد الصحيحة التي نقصدها.
And the truthfulness of our trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to expend all our efforts in using the means which fulfill the objectives for which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent us.
سواء كانت مقاصد أمن وطمأنينة أو مقاصد رزق وتغذية إلى غير ذلك من المقاصد الصحيحة.
Whether those objectives are safety or whether those objectives have to deal with livelihood.
قال الله عن قريش في حالهم الذي يسيرون فيه الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when describing the Quraysh and the affairs that he allowed them to be in Surah Quraysh, Allah described them. He is the one who granted them safety from fear and he fed them from hunger.
قال سيدنا الإمام الحداد عليه رحمة الله لو أن السماء نادت ألا تمطر بقطرة والأرض نادت ألا تنبت حبة وجميع أهل تريم عيال لي لم أهتم بهم ولم أقلق عليهم بعد قول ربي وما من دابة في الأرض إلا على الله رزقها.
Imam al-Haddad used to say, if the skies and the heavens had announced that we will not send down a drop of rain, and if the earth had announced that we will not cause a single sprout to come forth, and if all of the people of Tarim were my concerned at all after the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran that there is not a single on this earth except the things are in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
قال ابن عباس لو انطبقت السماء على الأرض لجعل الله للمتقي منها مخرجا بعد قوله ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا.
Sayyidina Ibn Abbas used to say that if the heavens had fallen upon the earth completely closing one against the other, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would still find a way of escape for the believers after having said that whoever has trust or whoever fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has his taqwa, Allah will cause a way out for him.
قال ربنا إنما ذلكم الشيطان يخوف أولياءه فلا تخافوهم خافوني إن كنتم
When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing the condition, he says those are the ways of the shayateen or the patrons of shaitan who want you to be in fear. However, do not fear them, but fear me alone, if you indeed are believers.
ستجري أحوال والظروف في بلاد العرب وبلاد العجم وفي أوروبا وغيرها، ولكن في كلها من صدق مع الله وبذل ما في وسعه من الأسباب وعظم أمر الشريعة واتصل بروحه وقلبه بصالح الزمان فلا قلق عليه ولا خوف وعاقبته إلى خير. ومن خرج عن هذه النقاط يكون ما يكون لابد أن يناله ما يناله من شدة الزمان.
There will be many affairs that will take place in the Arab lands and in the non-Arab lands and in Europe. However, those people who continue to be truthful in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in taking the means of remaining faithful to Him, in establishing His Sharia, and in remaining connected to the pious of their times, they will not face and they will not be afflicted with any fear or any anxiety. However, other than them, it is only a necessity then that they will be afflicted with some of the tribulations that the times to come will offer.
ونختم بقول نبينا صلى الله عليه وسلم من قال حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم 7 حين يصبح وحين يمسي كفاه الله ما أهمه صادقا بها أو كاذبا.
We end with the saying of the Prophet ﷺ that whoever says 7 times in the morning and the evening, حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم, such a person will, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be sufficient for this person for each and every single thing that causes